In this video, we will discuss conductivity of semiconductor. The contents are significance of Fermi level in an intrinsic semiconductor, carrier concentration in an intrinsic semiconductor, relation between Fermi energy and energy gap for an intrinsic semiconductor, expression for electrical conductivity of a semiconductor, and Hall effect. First, we will consider what are charge carriers. In an intrinsic semiconductor, for every electron freed from the bond, there will be one hole created in a crystal. That is, the number of conduction electrons is equal to the number of holes at any given temperature. Therefore, there is no predominance of one over the other to be particularly designated as charge carriers. In an extrinsic semiconductor, whether the charge carriers are electrons or holes is decided by the type of dopant atoms added to the crystal. The charge carriers are formed due to thermal excitation are called minority carriers, and the charge carriers obtained due to doping are called majority carriers. Significance of Fermi level. At T equal to 0 Kelvin, that is at absolute zero temperature, all the energy levels below Fermi level are completely filled and ones above are completely empty. Thus, Fermi level at T equal to 0 Kelvin acts as a distinguishing energy position between filled and unfilled energy states. If we consider a material at a temperature T greater than 0 Kelvin, then the material has a constant supply of thermal energy from the surroundings. In a material, when an electron absorbs energy, its energy increases and consequently it must find a place in an energy level that corresponds to the resultant energy. But for a semiconductor, the electrons which are lying in lower energy levels of valence band cannot absorb thermal energy since they find their nearby upper energy levels are occupied. Hence, only the electrons in the upper energy levels of valence band are capable of absorbing energy since they are vacant energy levels above them, that is available in the conduction band, and can excite it to the levels after absorbing energy. They do not stay in the higher energy levels for a long time because of high instability and return to the lower vacant energy levels. This thermal excitation and de-excitation continues as long as thermal energy supply persists. The electrons participating in these processes are called conduction electrons. During these excitation and de-excitation processes, only few filled upper energy levels of valence band and few vacant lower energy levels of conduction band will participate. The average energy value of all such energy levels signifies the Fermi level EF. Thus, the Fermi level is an indicator of the average energy of conduction electrons. Fermi level in an intrinsic semiconductor. The Fermi level at absolute zero temperature, that is T equal to 0 Kelvin, acts as a distinguishing energy position between filled and unfilled energy states. The Fermi level is an indicator of the average energy of conduction electrons. The energy gap is the energy difference between the bottom level of the conduction band and the topmost level of the upper valence band. It is denoted by Eg. At T equal to 0 Kelvin, all the energy levels in the valence band are completely filled and all the energy levels in the conduction band are completely empty. At ordinary temperature, due to thermal excitation, some of the electrons at the top of the valence band are excited to part of the conduction band through energy gap. These electrons de-excited soon to the previous energy levels in the valence band. This process continues and thus become conduction electrons. Thus, we can say that conduction electrons are distributed between the energy levels in the bottom part of the conduction band and the top part of the valence band. Because of this, the average energy of the electrons taking part in the conduction will be almost equal to half of the energy gap, that is Eg divided by 2. Thus, the Fermi level lies in the mid part of the forbidden gap, that is energy gap for an intrinsic semiconductor. It is shown in the figure given below. Here, this is the valence band, this is the conduction band. Energy difference between bottom level of conduction band and topmost level of valence band. This energy difference is the forbidden gap or energy gap. Now, in an intrinsic semiconductor, due to thermal energy, the few electrons from the upper level of the valence band are excited to the lower level of the conduction band, and that electrons they excited to the lower levels again. So excitation takes place between the upper level of the valence band and the lower level of the conduction band. Hence, the average energy of these two levels is equal to half of the energy gap. Only the upper level of valence band and lower levels of conduction band are taking place in the conduction process. Hence, the Fermi level is almost in the middle of the forbidden gap. Next, we will consider carrier concentration in an intrinsic semiconductor. Expression for electron concentration, which is represented as Ne, it is given by the number of electrons in the conduction band per unit volume of the material is the electron concentration, that is given by Ne is equal to 4 root 2 divided by h cube into pi me star kt whole to the power 3 by 2 into e to the power ef minus eg divided by kt, where me star is the effective mass of the electron, k Boltzmann constant, T absolute temperature of the material, Ef Fermi energy, and Eg energy gap of the material. Next, expression for hole concentration, which is denoted as NH. The number of holes in the valence band per unit volume of the material is called hole concentration NH. It is given by NH is equal to 4 root 2 divided by h cube into pi mh star kt whole to the power 3 by 2 into e to the power minus ef by kt, where mh star is effective mass of the hole, k Boltzmann constant, T absolute temperature, and ef Fermi energy of the material. Relation between Fermi energy and energy gap for an intrinsic semiconductor. For an intrinsic semiconductor, number of holes per unit volume in valence band is equal to the number of electrons per unit volume in the conduction band. That is, NH is equal to Ne. Mark this as equation 1. We know that Ne is equal to 4 root 2 by h cube into pi me star kt whole to the power 3 by 2 into e to the power ef minus eg by kt, and nh is equal to 4 root 2 by h cube into pi mh star kt whole to the power 3 by 2 e to the power minus ef by kt. Hence, equation 1 can be written as 4 root 2 by h cube into pi me star kt whole to the power 3 by 2 into e to the power ef minus eg by kt is equal to 4 root 2 by h cube into pi mh star kt whole to the power 3 by 2 into e to the power minus ef by kt. So, this is expression for Ne, this is expression for NH. Now here there are some common terms, that is 4 root 2 by h cube, we can cancel that. Similarly, pi into kT whole to the power 3 by 2 is also common. We can cancel that. Then rearranging the remaining terms, we get e to the power 2ef minus eg by kt is equal to mh star by me star whole to the power 3 by 2. By taking the natural logarithm on both sides, then we can write 2ef minus eg divided by kt is equal to 3 by 2 ln mh star by me star, or ef is equal to 3 by 4 kt ln mh star by me star plus eg by 2. But for all practical conditions, we know that mh star is equal to me star. Then we get ef is equal to eg by 2. This first term that cancels, that becomes equal to 0. That is, the Fermi level is in the middle of the band gap for an intrinsic semiconductor. Expression for electrical conductivity of a semiconductor. On the basis of free electron theory, the charge carriers can be assumed to be moving freely inside a semiconductor. Both the holes and electrons contribute to the conductivity of the semiconductor. Thus, the total conductivity is the sum of the two contributions. First, we will consider conductivity due to electrons. Consider a semiconductor of area of cross-section A in which a current I is flowing. Let V be the velocity of the free electrons whose flow in the conductor constitute the electric current. The electrons move through a distance V in 1 second. Then the volume swept by the electrons per second is equal to A into V, that is area of cross section into distance travelled. If Ne is the number of electrons per unit volume, E the magnitude of the electric charge on the electron, then the charge flow per second is equal to Ne into E into A into V. We know that charge flow per second is the current I. Then we can write I is equal to Ne E into A into V. Also, the current density is given by J is equal to I divided by A. That is, current density is defined as current per unit area. Then we can write J is equal to Ne into E into V. So, I is given by this equation. So, this equation is divided by A. Then we will get this. So, and this equation is marked as equation 1. The electron mobility mu E is given by mu E is equal to V divided by capital E, where capital E is the electric field, V is the velocity, and this is equation 2. Substituting equation 2 in equation 1, the equation 1 is given by J is equal to I by A is equal to Ne E into V. So, substituting this. So, from this we can write V is equal to mu E into E. Substitute that in this equation, we get J is equal to Ne E into mu E into E. So, this is the V is equal to this, and this is equation 3. If sigma E is the conductivity due to electrons in the semiconductor, then Ohm's law is given by J is equal to sigma E into E, that is equation 4. So, from equations 3 and 4, equation 3 is this expression for current density, equation 4 is also the expression for current density. So, from these two equations we can write Ne E mu E into E is equal to sigma E into E, and E is common term, so we can cancel that. Hence, we get sigma E is equal to Ne E into mu E. This is equation 5. Then we will consider the conductivity due to holes. Using the same method, if sigma h is the conductivity due to holes in the semiconductor, Nh the number of holes per unit volume, mu h the mobility of holes, then the equation for conductivity due to holes is given by sigma h is equal to nh into E into mu h. This is equation 6. So equation 5 is conductivity due to electrons. Equation 6 is conductivity due to holes. Thus, the total conductivity sigma for a semiconductor is given by the sum of sigma E and sigma h. Thus, from equations 5 and 6, this is equation 5, conductivity due to electrons, and equation 6 is conductivity due to holes. From these two equations, we can write sigma is equal to sigma E plus sigma h, or equal to Ne E mu E plus NH E mu h, or E is common, we can take it outside. Hence, we can write sigma is equal to E into Ne mu E plus NH mu h. That is equation 7. Conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. In this case, number of holes is always is equal to number of electrons. That is, Ne is equal to Nh, that will be equal to Ni. Then the equation 7, this equation becomes sigma is equal to Ni into E into mu E plus mu h. Why? Because Ne is equal to Nh here, and we are representing that is equal to Ni. We are taking that outside the bracket. Next is Hall effect. When a material in which current flow is there is subjected to a magnetic field acting at right angles to the direction of current flow, an electric field is induced across the material in a direction perpendicular to both the direction of the magnetic field and the direction of the current flow. This phenomenon is known as Hall effect. Consider a rectangular slab of N-type semiconducting material in which a current I is flowing in a positive x direction. So this is a rectangular slab of N-type material. The current direction is along the positive x direction. This is x direction, this is y direction, and this is z direction. Let a magnetic field B is applied along the z direction. Magnetic field is in this direction, B. Then electron experiences a Lorentz force given by Fl is equal to minus B into E into V, where V is the drift velocity of electrons, E we know it is charge of the electron, and this equation is obtained by Fleming's left hand rule, that is Fl is equal to VEV sin theta, where theta is angle between the magnetic field and the current. So that is, since they are perpendicular to one another, theta is 90, sin 90 is 1. Hence we are getting Fl is equal to minus BeV. Since force is exerted on the electrons in the negative y direction, electrons are deflected downwards. Force is in this direction, hence electrons are directed downwards. Thus, density of electrons increases in the lower end of the material, due to which its bottom edge becomes negatively charged. Here, this becomes negatively charged because electrons are moving in this downward direction. The loss of electrons from the upper end causes the top edge of the material become a positively charged. Since electrons are moving in this direction, holes are created here. Because of that, here this surface becomes positively charged. Hence, a Hall voltage VH appears between the upper and lower end of the semiconducting material. So, there exists a voltage between this lower and upper end. That voltage is known as the Hall voltage. Because of that Hall voltage, that establishes an electric field EH called as Hall field across the conductor in the negative y direction. Field is equal to potential drop per unit length. So EH is the Hall field in the negative y direction. This field EH exerts an upward force FH on the electrons. Hence we can write FH is equal to minus E into EH. At equilibrium, the two forces are equal, that is FL is equal to FH, or minus BEV is equal to minus E into EH. Therefore, EH is equal to BV, that is equation 1. If D is the distance between the upper and lower surfaces of the slab, the distance between this upper and lower surface, this distance is D, then we can write EH is equal to VH by D. Field is equal to potential drop divided by the distance, or VH is equal to EH into D, which is equal to BV into D, because EH is equal to BV from this equation. Let W be the thickness of the material in the Z direction. Along this direction, Z direction, W is the thickness. Therefore, area of cross section normal to the direction of the current I is equal to WD. This is the direction of current. The area of cross section perpendicular to this direction is area of this face. So that is this side into this side. This is D and this is W. Hence the area is equal to W into D. Therefore, we can define current density J is equal to I divided by W into D. But we know that J is equal to NEV equal to rho V, where N is charge carrier concentration and rho is equal to N into E is the charge density. So this N into E is replaced by a term known as charge density. From equations 3 and 4, so equations 3 is this, J is equal to I by WD. Equation 4 is J is equal to rho V. From these two equations we can write rho V is equal to I divided by WD, or V is equal to I divided by rho into WD. Substituting this equation 5 in equation 2. Equation 2 is VH is equal to EH into D equal to BVD. So VH is equal to BVD is equation 2. Substitute this value of V in this equation. We get VH is equal to BI divided by rho W, because D and this D it cancels, or rho is equal to Bi divided by Vh into W. Thus, charge density can be calculated using this equation. The polarity of the Hall voltage developed at the top and bottom edge of the specimen can be identified using probes. If the top edge acquires positive polarity for the Hall voltage, then the charge carriers must be electrons, which means that the material is N-type. For a P-type material, polarity of the top edge is negative. Hall coefficient RH. The Hall field EH depends on current density J and applied field B. That is, EH is proportional to J into B, or EH is equal to RH into JB, where RH is known as Hall coefficient. Thus, RH is equal to EH divided by J into B. Substituting for EH and J from equation 1 and equation 4. Equation 1 is EH is equal to BV. Equation 4 is J is equal to rho V. We get RH is equal to BV divided by rho VB, or RH is equal to 1 by rho. Thus, the Hall coefficient can be evaluated. Expression for Hall voltage in terms of Hall coefficient. We know that Hall voltage VH is equal to BI divided by rho W, and Hall coefficient RH is equal to 1 by rho. From these two equations, Hall voltage VH is equal to 1 by rho into BI divided by W, or VH is equal to RH into BI divided by W. This is the expression for Hall voltage in terms of Hall coefficient. Questions from this discussions. First one, explain Fermi level in an intrinsic semiconductor. Second one, mention the expression for electron concentration and hole concentration in an intrinsic semiconductor and explain the terms. Third one, derive the relation between Fermi energy and energy gap for an intrinsic semiconductor. Fourth one, derive the expression for conductivity of a semiconductor. The question may be, derive the expression for conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. Fifth one, what is Hall effect? Obtain the expression for Hall voltage in terms of Hall coefficient. Thank you.